and welcome to another episode of Small Caps. My name is Jess Holland. Today we are hearing from Critical Resources. This is a Canadian-focused lithium developer, which has begun to attract some serious attention with its Mavis Lake lithium project in Ontario, Canada. The ASX ticker code is CRR. The company has recently posted a maiden 8 million tonne spodumene resource earlier this year and recently completed a capital raise as well. So the company has also announced some very interesting lithium intercepts. And I won't take this interview away from Alex. So I'm delighted to welcome the Managing Director of Critical Resources, Alex Cheeseman, to discuss all of this with us today. So hi, welcome, Alex. Lovely to have you on the show.
Hi, thanks, Jess. Great to be here.
Great. So let's just delve straight in. So firstly, you've had some very promising intercepts at your flagship Mavis Lake project in Ontario, this time related to an expansion of a swell zone. Can you explain what is this and what does this mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the results we've put out to market in the last few weeks have been really exciting. Probably the best series of results that we've put out to date, and noting that comes off the back of about 35,000 metres that we've drilled at Mavis Lake, pretty much non-stop since April last year. So, as you said, the Swell Zone, as we're referring to it, really gets its name from the fact that the mineralisation that we've hit is from widths and thicknesses that really have swelled well over what we've typically seen at Mavis Lake. So, we used to sort of see regular intercepts in kind of, the mid-teens to low 20s, but recently the results have been sort of 30, 40 and up to 70 metres thick. So a significant increase in mineralisation and that swell, as we're referring to it, is something that we're really targeting at the moment.
Okay, brilliant. And so what did those results in particular, mean for a potential mineral resource upgrade, understanding that Critical Resources is one of the very few companies who has actually delivered a lithium-focused MRE, in recent times?
No, absolutely. I think we're one of only two ASX-listed companies with a JORC-compliant lithium resource in Ontario. So it's a small crowd, and it was a very conscious decision by the company to put the resource out. After the sort of first 12 months of drilling, it's a very busy crowd, the sort of junior lithium explorers at the moment. So we wanted something that separated us from the group, and it's exactly that, a maiden resource. We always intended to build on it, and so back to the start of your question, what does this mean? Well, every time that we drill at the moment and hit mineralised pegmatite, we're adding tonnes to a future resource upgrade. So we start with 8 million tonnes. We know that we're well beyond that now. We've got line of sight to a significant resource upgrade, and we expect to have that out, sort of the first half of next year.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so you've just answered my next question. So you've just put out your MRE at the beginning of this year, and now so the time frame for a potential upgrade is next year?
No, definitely. So, we brought some internal resource modelling capabilities in-house. So, we have a good line of sight of where we're sitting. We're already planning with the resource geologists who are independent to conduct site visit in preparation for a resource upgrade. Again, it'll be something that we time quite strategically. We want to make sure that the first upgrade is a significant increase over the 8 million tonnes. Our focus has always been about pushing this project forward into development. So we want to make sure that the first upgrade will really underpin a future operation, but it's continued growth sort of year on year from there. So, we have no plans to stop drilling anytime soon. And we've still got so much, really positive exploration ground at Mavis Lake and some really high quality drill targets that we're yet to test. So, we'll be busy at Mavis Lake for some time.
Okay, brilliant. So now let's just talk about the latest drill results and also, their geographical physical location. How does this kind of help in terms of like the developing of Mavis Lake and ultimately creating shareholder value from a development perspective? How does this change?
Yeah. Look, I don't think it really changes anything at the moment. So, the main zone where we've been drilling to date is where, the resource has been defined, and that is where we're currently, continuing to grow the resource. We do have some excellent targets to the northern area of the property. So the gull wing, tot, and little wing pegmatite clusters, they're really promising and have some real scale and size potential to them. We've never drill tested them, and we will do that at some stage, probably the beginning of next year. But where we are right now in the main zone, that 8 million tonnes is growing every single day. From a development perspective, I suppose we've always said, and it's true, that Mavis Lake is uniquely positioned for a future operation. So, we're right next to the city of Dryden. So any future mining operation would be a residential-based operation. That delivers some significant savings in terms of infrastructure and things that we don't need to spend money on. And we know that right now from this phase of our life in exploration, we're a very low-cost explorer. The bulk of our money is on the drilling contractor and getting the drills into the ground. Those cost efficiencies and things that we don't have to spend money on will follow through to sort of CapEx and OpEx. So, no remote camp, no remote logistics. We already have a telecommunications network that runs over the property. There's hydro power and gas lines that already run around the property now. There's export logistics and, roads and rail access that is already in place. Quite unique for us and something that really sets us apart when we look at what does this future operation look like.
Okay, brilliant. So now moving away from the development side of things, because it sounds like you've got everything from an infrastructure point of view kind of set up and ready to go. What about the blue sky? So let's move on to exploration. What is your immediate focus in terms of exploration at the Mavis Lake project?
Yeah, so immediately we're just staying on this Swell Zone. So, we don't have a single rig drilling at the moment. That rig is running 24/7, continuing to follow up these really large intercepts and build up, I suppose, a pipeline of results that are going to lead to, a meaningful resource upgrade in short order. Stepping out, looking at, the targets to the north, Gull Wing, Tot Lake and Little Wing. I suppose from a blue sky perspective, that's huge potential for us, having never drill tested them, but all of our field work has shown that there are really high grade rock chip samples, high grade lithium from spodumene. So we know that the mineralisation is there. We just need to get drill rigs on site and actually really test it. So really exciting time. There's so much to do at Mavis Lake, and we're really looking forward to the next few years and seeing how big we can actually grow this thing.
That sounds amazing. So now, obviously, the company's full steam ahead in terms of its drill campaign. And it really seems like the company is in kind of a transitory period at the moment. So is there scope for, potential future development? And what can you tell our audience about this? What does that look like?
We've always said that our approach to creating real value for shareholders was always to pursue a dual resource growth in parallel with development approach. Myself and the team were starting to build around us. We've been involved in hard rock lithium projects before. That's not something that many people can say. It is a very new industry. So bringing in on board and building out a team with the skill sets and the experience to actually go from explorer through development and into operations is something that's quite unique to us and something we're going to take full advantage of. So continuing to push down development work. We've got scoping level studies underway at the moment. We've got teams out in the field doing environmental monitoring, building up the repository of knowledge we need to inform an impact assessment and support permitting a future operation. There are all work streams that are happening in parallel with the ongoing drilling and I suppose resource growth that we're doing. So, continuing to do both things at the same time, be as quick and nimble as we can. That's an opportunity for us to exploit and again, how we see we can create some real value.
Brilliant. Okay, so now shifting gears a little bit to the corporate side of things. You've just recently completed a capital raising. What can you tell us about that? And also, what do you intend to use those funds for?
Yep. So, quite a well-timed capital raise. The markets have been pretty tough, so we're really pleased to get the capital raise away, very quickly. We got some really good involvement and interest from some institutional investors that are, very experienced and well versed in early stage lithium investments. So it's great to have them on board, and a real vote of confidence in terms of the quality of the project and the way that we're moving the company forward. In terms of the bulk of the funds, we utilise flow-through mechanism out of Canada. We've done this successfully before. It's a great ability for us to be, to raising money and accessing money at a premium. that money has to go straight into in-ground work. So again, really funds our drilling and field work, through to the back end of next year. So, we run everything else from a corporate perspective pretty lean. We are growing the team a little bit at the moment, making sure that we're not too lean. But yeah, I mean, no change from what we've been doing so far. So focus our money, spend it well, put most of the money into the ground, and keep adding tons to a future resource upgrade.
Okay, brilliant. So now, looking at kind of the macro scale of lithium, so can you give our audience an understanding of what you think the role of Canadian lithium will play, and in particular in the context of the booming North American battery metal sector? So how do you see, and more specifically, how do you see your operation at your Mavis Lake project leveraging that opportunity?
Yeah, look, that's a great question. And I think something that's probably a little bit, misunderstood from most of us sitting here in Australia is the unprecedented investment that's happening into North America at the moment, both in Canada and the United States, to transition into, a fully electric vehicle production. And I suppose a really unique thing for us is if you look at Mavis Lake and our proximity to the state of Michigan, Michigan State and Detroit has been an automotive, manufacturing hub for decades. And a lot of the money that's going into Michigan at the moment, both state and federally from the US government, is not about creating jobs. It's about maintaining jobs. So, government always likes to throw money at new industries and trying to, create new opportunities, but it always throws an awful lot of money at maintaining jobs and maintaining, the lifeblood of a state's economy, which, Michigan is very much automotive centric. Also in Southern Ontario, there's been significant investment. We're talking tens of 20s of billions of dollars by Volkswagen, the government, LG, GM, Ford. They're all throwing, significant resources at building out electric vehicle manufacturing and battery capacity facilities in Michigan and in Southern Ontario. Why am I labouring the point there? Well, we've got a rail network that runs from Mavis Lake straight to those sites. And as well as the rail network, we've also got existing shipping lanes that run from Thunder Bay straight to those sites. So we see that we have an absolutely perfect opportunity to be part of this North American EV supply chain, given that the export logistics and infrastructure is already in place. And it's feeding into an existing automotive hub that is being propped up with billions of dollars of investment. So, we're very excited about continuing to move Mavis Lake forward. There's obviously some lithium refining capacity that needs to be built. And we're also starting to have some very early stage conversations with groups that may have the capability and the technical ability and balance sheet strength to build out lithium refining capacity and how we could be part of that story as well. So, a fantastic opportunity. We are probably one of the best strategically located projects in North America at the moment.
Wow, Alex, it sounds amazing. So now, what does the next sort of 6 months look like for Critical Resources?
I think probably more of exactly the same we've been doing. So drill rig's spinning at the moment. We'll keep drilling out the resource. We'll have a bit of a break over Christmas. The development work continues in parallel. We've got field teams out monitoring, doing fisheries monitoring at the moment. There's a lot of work happening sort of on the ground. And that's what we've been doing for the last 12 months. That's what we're going to keep doing for the next 12 months. I think we're keeping the market pretty well informed every time we're doing something meaningful. So, more of the same. And it's an exciting time to be doing it.
Fantastic. Now, one last question for you, Alex. Can you give our Small Caps audience just 2 or 3 really key takeaways for why Critical Resources is an attractive investment for them?
No, absolutely. I think the first thing is, we're resource backed. So we're not looking for lithium. We have 8 million tonnes of it, and we're adding to that every single day. And then that strategic narrative and that, the opportunity we have there by being in, probably the best position that we can be to both feed into, the largest growing automotive sector in the United States and Canada. Those 2 things from a strategic perspective, and then the fact that we are resource backed, they're pretty compelling in my thoughts anyway.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, Alex. It was such a delight to chat to you and to hear more about what you guys are doing. Really look forward to having you back on the show, and thanks for joining us.
No, pleasure. Anytime. Thank you.